Matt, UFC 247 coming at us live February 8th from Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Matt, our fifth fight on the prelims, we have Trevin Giles taking on Antônio Arroyo. And Matt, fresh in our mind's eye because Antônio Arroyo competed here somewhat recently in his UFC debut against Andre Muniz. Before that, 2 wins on Contender Series Brazil, and then Contender Series 2019 to make his way into the UFC. This is a guy that they bring into training camps to replicate none other than Thiago Santos. And then across the cage will be Trevin Giles, a guy who's lost his last 2, but before that, a win over Ryan Spann and LFA. Then he comes in, he beats James Boknovic and Antonio Braga Neto. And this is a guy that can do a lot of different things quite well, but against pure grapplers, and I say that because really when you're facing a Zach Cummins, you don't really have to worry as much about his striking as you do his grappling. Same thing with Gerald Meerschaert. He just did not cut the mustard, Trevin Giles. So in this fight, it'll be very interesting because you have 2 primary strikers. Giles, maybe I give him the slight advantage in the grappling and especially the jiu-jitsu work. As far as the odds are concerned, Arroyo plus 115 underdog, Giles minus 140. And on Tapology, at a 610 votes, 78% going Giles with 58% going by decision. Matt, this is an interesting fight, but it's not one of the higher level fights at 185 pounds. Do you see this as a sink or swim opportunity for these guys?
Not really. I don't think you gain much. Honestly, the only thing you gain from this fight is exactly you might stay in the UFC. Trevin Giles is not a middleweight. We need to stop booking him at 185 because he's a welterweight if I've ever seen one. He's undersized in every single middleweight fight he's ever been in. Joe Meerschaert, I know he's a big 185er, but honestly, he's pretty average when you look at the top 15. Like, he doesn't really stand out significantly physically, and Trevin Giles was dwarfed by him, and Arroyo's massive. Like, he's a big 185er for that matter, and like, he could be a 205er. So basically, have a welterweight fighting a 205er, and I never thought I'd say this, I feel like the welterweight's better at everything. Arroyo's like, using him to mirror Thiago Santos is kind of like when you heard that Floyd Mayweather is going to use Kevin Lee to mirror Conor McGregor. You're like, but why? That doesn't really make any sense. And same thing with this. Arroyo kind of has striking, but he's not really a power puncher, but he doesn't move forward. So what's the point? Like, he has good strikes, but he likes to move backwards, and he's not really a volume guy. So he's kind of in that weird striker's limbo. I'm sure in the in the gym, he could kind of mirror sort of the technique of Santos, but he hasn't been able to put it together in a fight yet. And this isn't even saying that Trevin Giles is that good. I just think he's better than Arroyo. So I'm going to say Trevin by decision. I think this is going to be a stinker of a fight.
I think Antônio Arroyo is going to be able to get a lucky shot in here. You're going to see Trevin push forward, push forward, push forward. And if you bring a guy in like that can counter-strike like an Antônio Arroyo, if you can pressure him like Trevin Giles, you're going to be able to get a strike off. Andre Muniz was a bit of a smaller guy at 185, and yeah, he had success, but he was so good at jiu-jitsu that's how he was able to set it up. Trevin Giles, I just don't think he has that total package. And maybe I'm totally wrong, and maybe this is where we get to see it. I'm going to take Antônio Arroyo here to get the win and disagree with Matt. But Matt, that doesn't matter. You're going to get to see what happens in the picks. Well, we have the trophy for a reason, but you're going to want to check out our Fight Night picks, 2-minute predictions, and 5 minutes for the co-main and the main event here on YouTube with Fight Night Picks. Matt, let's get into it.